Disastrous. I mean, this is bad. I don't know if things could be any worse. We already knew the level of incompetence was at an all-time high, but I didn't think that the incompetence could be this bad or this dishonest. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking that I am talking about the rare press conference last night that featured our fearless leader, John Biden. I understand how you could come to that conclusion. The same adjectives could be used to describe that huge embarrassing failure last night, but I'm talking about the way that CNN chose to cover this disaster. Somehow, some way, CNN thought they could polish this turd. Now, I will give them credit. Over the last 3 years, CNN and the mainstream media, they have mastered the art of polishing, but sometimes you're just given a lost cause. You are given a rancid turd, where it doesn't matter how much polish is applied, it still stinks. And that is exactly what John Biden delivered to the mainstream media last night. There's no way to cover it up. And I'm not saying this in a joking manner because, to be honest with you, even though we have fun making jokes about John Biden and will continue doing so throughout this video, the humane side of me actually feels bad for him. It is abundantly clear that Johnny B. Biden is not fit to be president. Yesterday, the special counsel that was investigating Johnny B's handling of classified documents, they decided that they were not going to move forward with criminal charges. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. I would hold off on the celebrations, Hunter. The Biden family, they might have escaped criminal charges, but they did not escape charges in the court of public opinion. The special counsel, they released a 345-page report that painted a devastating picture of the mental awareness, or the lack thereof, of our fearless leader. At one point during their investigation, John Biden had forgotten when he was vice president. Yes, Sonny, I remember when I was called Veep. It was 1989. My wife Janice was in fake medical school. You mean your wife Jill? No, pretend Dr. Janice, my husband. For any parent, the loss of a child is the most traumatic, devastating loss that you can go through. Parents never forget the day that you were born. If tragedy strikes, they damn sure never forget the day you pass away. During this investigation, Joe Biden admitted that he could not remember when his son, Beau Biden, passed away. I'm not talking about remembering the specific date. Joe Biden could not guess when it happened within a few years. Beau Biden passed away in 2015. It was only 9 years ago. It's not like this happened in 1915 when John Biden was a young politician beginning his career in Washington, D.C. This literally happened less than 10 years ago. I'm not a psychiatrist, but it seems to me the trauma of losing a child is something that a parent never forgets. I don't know the prognosis that Dr. Jill Biden has formulated, but something ain't right with John Biden. I can see it. You can see it. Seems like the only people who don't see it are the people collecting woke welfare from CNN. After this report was released to the public yesterday, John Biden, he scheduled an impromptu press conference. This press conference was completely different than the conferences we have seen from John Biden over the last 3 years. Johnny B was feeling confident. He felt the need to prove himself. It was a rare occasion last night because John Biden, he attended a press conference and he actually took questions from the media. These weren't the pre-planned questions that we have become accustomed to seeing. Hey, Johnny, who do you like in the Super Bowl? Come on, man. Everyone knows that I like Campbell's. They've always made the best soup. In another shocking turn of events, the mainstream media, they actually asked some hard-hitting questions. I'll share a couple of clips with you guys from this press conference last night. In one of these clips, John Biden, he is talking about his accomplishments in the Middle East. He proudly explains how he spoke with the president of Mexico and convinced him to open the border between Egypt and Gaza. I know John Biden is an expert when it comes to open borders. Hell, our own border is so open, Lizzo doesn't have to condense her body positivity while the forklift carries her through it. But I'm struggling to understand how Biden convinced Mexico to open borders in Egypt. Watch for yourself.
The president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate. I talked to Bibi to open the gate on the Israeli side.
Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment. That is not the judgment of the press. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, it wasn't any of their damn business. Let me tell you something. Some of you have commented. I wear, since the day he died, every single day, the rosary he got from Our Lady of...
You can't make this shit up. While he's attempting to convince you that his memory is strong, John Biden forgets on the spot who gave him the rosary that honors his son that he wears every day. I only showed you guys 3 clips. We could sit here for the next 24 hours and go over hundreds of memory lapses from John Biden. Is it any wonder why the country is struggling? Is it any wonder why America's enemies have been emboldened? The most powerful office in the world is being occupied by a man who can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. You don't need a medical degree from Woke U to realize that something is seriously wrong with John Biden. Hell, I have called him John Biden so many times on this channel over the years, wouldn't surprise me if he thought that was his actual name. Like I said earlier, there's no amount of polish that you can apply to this turd. There's absolutely no way you can cover these deficiencies. But leave it to CNN to find a way to do it. Leave it to CNN to once again find another way to insult your intelligence. Earlier this morning, CNN presented another episode of CNN This Morning, also known as the morning edition of Huge Embarrassing Failure. Luckily for executives at CNN, the embarrassment will be limited here. With their morning dump averaging just 300,000 viewers, it's entirely possible that no one is going to see this clip I'm about to show you. If I were CNN, I'd bury this clip in the woke cemetery right next to the remains of the media career of the donut diva Brian Stelter. But this morning, Phil Mattingly, no relation to Don, and some unknown female, maybe it was Poppy Harlow, they applied their protective mask and agreed to host this dump. They brought on a couple of people that CNN describes as analysts. As you're about to see, after listening to their analysis, CNN must use the same standards and qualifications that the worldwide leader in woke, ESPN, uses when they hire analysts. Do they belong to a marginalized group? Check, they're hired. No experience required. As long as you have your certified victim papers from Woke United Methodist, you were qualified for a job in the mainstream media. The analysts that CNN presented this morning, they were Errol Lewis and John Avlon. Who and who? Was Van Jones busy? Was Caitlin Collins, Katie Roo! Was Caitlin Collins getting her beauty sleep so she's ready to host her primetime dump later tonight? Where in the hell was Wolf? Woof, 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 woof. Where the hell was Wolf? Was he at the vet getting neutered? Let me go ahead and show you what CNN considers quality analysis. Watch for yourself.
What you heard from the president at the end of that piece was real. That was not a manufactured fury. He was mad. Did he help himself or hurt himself at the press conference last night?
It'll vary from viewer to viewer. I thought it was good for him to show who he is. This was not handlers. This was not pollsters. This was Joe Biden, sort of letting everybody know kind of where he's coming from and how he feels. I think that makes him seem more youthful, more engaged, but I think it can only help. Yes, this is somebody we haven't seen before, a president who's up in age. And that means there are going to be verbal flubs. There are going to be questions that are raised.
He is a man of a certain age, and time moves in one direction.
Are you out of your fucking mind? You expect me to believe that last night was a good look for our fearless leader? Did you notice they never explained why this was a good look? I thought he was honest. I thought he was real. It made him look younger. Younger? Younger? You could have Joe Biden standing next to Methuselah, and he would still look like a fossil. Not Don Mattingly. He claimed what we saw last night from John, that was real. It wasn't manufactured. Oh, well, no shit. I think we all came to the conclusion that Johnny was not using a teleprompter. I can't imagine that the people scripting his speeches get Mexico confused with Egypt. I mean, it's not like he confused Egypt with Libya. At least they are located on the same continent. Egypt could not be further away from Mexico. Hell, if you're in Mexico, you can get to Jupiter faster than you can get to Egypt. CNN, they also tried to apply polish to Johnny's age. A couple of times in that clip, you heard CNN analysts say, "Our fearless leader, he is a man of a certain age." I happen to be a man of a certain age too. The age I choose to identify with is 39. On my 39th birthday last November, my friends and family didn't celebrate and say, "Happy certain age to you, happy certain age to you." I know CNN is allergic to the truth. I know CNN is allergic to being real, but let's just be real here. John Biden is old. It's okay to say it. It's okay to point out the obvious. It doesn't make you an ageist. Donald Trump, orange man bad. Donald Trump, he's old too. According to Don Lemon, Nikki Haley is past her prime. Eventually, it's going to happen to all of us. Problem is, CNN doesn't want to be honest about John Biden's age. Thing is, it has nothing to do with his age at this point. My dad's 72 years old. There are men his age who have lost the ability to bathe their boodle. They need a nurse to come in to give them a proper scrub. At 72 years old, my dad, he's as sharp as he was at 52 years old. Go look at speeches from John Biden that were given 8 or 10 years ago. Johnny B has always been aloof. He's never been accused of being the smartest guy in the room. But 10 years ago, at least he had the ability to form complete sentences. Today, half the time he's speaking, I have no idea what the hell he's trying to say. America is the land of... 4 years ago, Fauci gave Democrats the perfect excuse to hide John Biden during the campaign. He's old. It's too dangerous. He might catch the COVID. That excuse is no longer valid. You can't hide him anymore. The problem is you can't show him either. And I believe that is the direction they're heading. This guy can't be your nominee, but it's already so late in the process that you put yourself at an extreme disadvantage if you replace him. I know it sounds grandiose thinking of Gabby Newsom or Michelle Obama, but it takes a lot of time to put together an impactful campaign. Basically, they're screwed, which is good news for normal people. By this time next year, hopefully a gallon of milk doesn't cost the same as a gallon of whiskey. But give me your thoughts on this. John Biden delivers a disastrous press conference last night, and CNN claims it was a good look for our fearless leader. Does anyone actually believe that? Does CNN have any credibility left? Speaking of CNN, I'm thinking about doing a documentary-style video where I chronicle CNN's rise and fall. I have never produced something like this before. We'll see how it works out. I'm hoping to have it ready by next weekend, but obviously, depending on my schedule and time, that can change. But I'll keep you guys posted on that. In the meantime, give me your thoughts on John's press conference last night and CNN basically lying to us about it. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.